Good evening to all of you. Today I have received one more message from Mani Gandan of Madurai. He is a branch manager in some bank. He writes, Master Shiva, Vishnu, all these different views only from the mind. From heart, as you said, Brahman is one. Always this is wavering. Please advise. Yeah. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. If Guru is equated to Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu, then once again next line, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. There is something from which everything has started. Vaishnavites like to call it as Narayan. Saivites call it as Shiva. If you take Shiva Puranam, in that Vishnu will come to Shiva. If you take Vishnu Puranam, Shiva will go to Vishnu. All these things are there. Ekam Satvipra Bahuda Vadanti. Satyam is only one, it is called by different names. If you are a lover of Shiva, you will say Shiva is great. If you are a lover of Narayan, you will say Narayan is great. So the Parabrahman is equated to Shiva, is equated to Narayan. Here in this sloka, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Guru is equated to that Parabrahman, Brahman, whatever you call it as, the top one from which everything has come. So don't get carried away by these names. Names have got nothing to do. Names are just for namesake. So Parabrahman is only one, from which, yes, there are supplementary forces. He has himself granted, he has himself, once again he is reborn in various stages with reduced powers. There should not be any confusion in this. When you go to Shiva temple, you worship Shiva, you keep him as Parabrahman. When you go to Narayan temple, you see Vishnu, you keep him as Parabrahman. Yes. The Parabrahman, Paranjodi, Parandama, Swarupam is only one. Everybody preferred to call it in their own way, and they called it that way. There should not be any big confusion in this. Unless you are going to figuratively see and you are going to compare and contrast which is more powerful. When you do such analysis, definitely there will be a lot of confusion. Lord is only one. I may call him Narayan, you may call him Shiva. Brahma is there. For Brahma there is not much temple. Somewhere in Pushkar we have one temple, separate temple for Brahma. In south, in some temples you can have, there will be a Sannadhi for Brahma. They didn't build temples. They said Brahma has told a lie. It seems they were, both Vishnu and Brahma were going in search of Parabrahma, because that story glorifies Shiva. So when they went up, it seems Vishnu could not spot the feet But he accepted defeat, but Brahma said he had seen some flower was coming down, and that said, I am coming from the top. So I have seen the flower, and the flower said yes. Then the Brahma said, it seems I have seen the top, and then it seems Brahma was cursed that there will be no temple. Somehow this story is not acceptable to me. For me, what I feel is probably this may be like this. Why they did not accept Brahma to be a major power or Parabrahman, maybe because of certain reasons, like, if you go to Brahma and ask what he can give. Brahma was always allotted only he has to create, nothing else. He was in charge of creation department. Already people have been attuned to something that what they have already, it looks like they are suffering on the earth. We don't know what suffering they are. It seems they are already having a suffering on earth and they don't want to be born. And so, if you go to Brahma and ask, he will only give, once again, one more birth. He is not going to give any salvation. So there may not be any temple built for Brahma. Because Brahma cannot give salvation, whereas Vishnu can grant and Shiva can also grant. Because there is Kailasham, there is Vaikuntham, they can accommodate you there, whereas Brahma has got Satyalokam, but mainly if you go to Brahma, he will only give more births to you. And since people are not for births, people already have an idea that they are not for births. They want to go to Kailash, Saivites want to go to Kailash, Vaishnavites want to go to Vaikuntham, sit with the Lord or merge with the Lord, whatever it is, and do service to the Lord there by being in Kailasham or Vaikuntham. That looked to be an attractive aspect for them because there is no rebirth. And they called it as salvation, whereas for Brahma that was not there. Probably that may be one of the reasons why there was no temple for Brahma. Brahma was in fact the propounder of 4 Vedas. He had 4 heads, he had 4 Vedas and he is still the mentor of Saraswati. Throughout Kali Yuga, it seems Saraswati is learning with Brahma. She will be graduated out only at the end of Kali Yuga. To that extent, Brahma is a great person, a great teacher. And not having a temple on the basis of Brahma told a lie doesn't augur well, at least with me. I don't believe that story. The only thing is Brahma cannot grant, whereas others can grant. That Brahman others can offer. Whereas Shiva can offer, Vishnu can offer. But Brahma cannot offer anything like that. He can only give you a rebirth. So what is the point in praying to Brahma? By going and asking Brahma, he is going to give you once again one more birth. That doesn't augur well because people felt that they are already suffering here. This life on earth is not comfortable for them. Life on earth, no, they are not happy with the life on earth. They felt the samsara is very heavy and samsara sagaram is very heavy, a big burden. They felt the responsibilities of householder or the responsibilities of living a life in samsara is very high and they didn't want that. So they wanted to go somewhere else where they can be more relaxed. They can be one with the Lord. So Shiva and Vishnu were offering better deals than Brahma. That may be the reason why Brahma was not. But everywhere, if you take Shiva Puranam, Vishnu will be coming to Shiva for obligations. If you take Vishnu Puranam, Shiva will go to Vishnu. So, Parabrahma is only one. It can be called by any name. You can call it as Shiva, you can call it as Vishnu, whatever it is, depending on to what classification you belong to. Maybe a Saivite, maybe a Vaishnavite. And of course, in Brahma did not find a place because already he is out of that scope. So the point of Bindu from which everything emanated, you may call it Shiva, you may call it Vishnu, anything. I don't go into this or that. But the Brahman is only one. Call it Shiva, call it Vishnu, anything. It's the Brahman is one. So when you say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So a clear difference was made. Guru is beyond this, they say. Don't figuratively call him, maybe. So the Bindu was considered to be the Guru, so they called him Brahman. It's as good as calling Shiva Brahman or Vishnu Brahman, something like that. In Shiva Puranam, you see the Lingodbhava Murti, which neither had the beginning or the end. So in that, Brahma goes in search of the beginning and Vishnu goes towards the Patham, feet, searching the feet. But Vishnu is honest enough to admit that he cannot find, whereas Brahma told a lie. Of course, I don't believe in this story. Though this story is available everywhere. So there in that, Shiva was considered, somewhere Vishnu is considered. They said from Vishnu's Nabi came the beautiful Brahma, then Brahma created Shiva. So Vishnu was considered as the Brahma. So all this, there is one Brahma. That is there. You call it Shiva, you call it Vishnu, according to. So there should not be any confusion. Unless you start looking at Brahman as Vishnu itself and Brahman as Shiva also and start comparing analysis, then you will get confused. There is something Brahman which can be called as Shiva, which can be called as Vishnu, depending on the faith to which you belong to. Every faith believed. See, faith is faith. So Vaishnavites believed Narayan is for them the ultimate destination, and Saivites believed that Shiva is the ultimate destination for them. It's a question of faith. So in faith there is nothing like this is right, that is wrong, or that is right and this is wrong. There is nothing like that. It's a faith. They belong to that faith, that's all. They believe in that very strongly. Probably the Brahman, according to their faith, probably transforms itself and shows. Maybe if you are a believer of Shiva as the Brahman will show a figure of Shiva. If you believe that there is Kailash, then it shows Kailash. Probably if you are a Vaishnavite and you believe in Narayan, the Brahman will transform itself as Narayan and show itself as Narayan. And there is something called Vaikuntham where everybody does service or they get merged with. Brahman is all powerful. The Brahman can transform itself into anything you need. So there should not be any confusion about it. That's what I feel. If you can see everything in the same way, if you can look at everything, if you can accept that yes, when you go to a Shiva temple, yes, naturally, that is the Brahman. When you see the lingam, yes, that is the Brahman. It is more in the form of arupam. There is no rupam for it. Lingodbhavam doesn't have any rupam. It's just Shiva doesn't have any rupam as such. When you go to Vishnu temple, you can see a rupam. But Brahman is only one. Whether you go to Shiva temple or Vishnu temple. No room for any confusion. It's all how you look at it. It's all in the mind. And mind plays sometimes games. It shows this is superior, that is superior. Some people, while giving discourse, they will say this alone is superior, that alone is superior. All those things are there. And you may get carried away by what they say. If you are a very alert person, you will not get carried away by all those things. You will go contemplating on yourself. You will yourself, when you contemplate, you will know what is Brahman. When you start meditating on it, you will know what is Brahman. You will know yourself. That's how one is supposed to. Nothing like it can be just told to you, nothing like it can be explained to you. Lord is more a subject of the heart. How to explain it? How to explain Brahman? It's a subject matter of the heart. It has got nothing to do with the brain. It has got nothing to do with the mind. It's a subject matter of the heart. It's more love. How will you explain love? How will you explain? It's not possible to explain love. You may say, I love you, but is it possible to explain what kind of a feeling you have to somebody else? Even to your own lover, can you explain? No. Will the lover have the same degree or more or less? Can it be explained? No. It's dumb person tasting honey. It cannot be explained. That is Brahman. When you cannot explain it, and when it is a matter of the heart, then that is Brahman. How will you explain? There's no way to explain all that. When somebody starts explaining that this is Brahman, it is like this, then it is not that. It cannot be explained. Because it is actually the language of the heart. Language of the heart can be experienced. And that experience cannot be shared. And that experience cannot be explained also. How to explain experience? They will say, please share your experience. How is it possible? It's not possible. How to share one's experience? When I sit with you and you sit with me, we both talk for some time. It's an experience. It's more a language of love. It's a language of the heart. How will you explain it to somebody else? When you come to Yajnam at Narsamavadi and we all together perform Yajnam, it's a language of the heart. How will you explain it to somebody? At best you will say that we went to Narsamavadi, we had an yajnam, it was very nice, it was a great experience, it was a thrilling experience. But can you translate your experience in real words to the other person so that he can also have that experience without visiting that place? Is it possible? No. Without visiting that place or occasion, is it possible? No. It's not possible. Brahman is something like that. How will you explain it? It's more the language of the heart. If you are now using the mind, then yes, you will give some explanation. It is like this, it is like this. It has got this, it has got that. But is it that? No, it is not that. Once you start explaining Brahman, it is not Brahman. It's more a language of the heart. Try to think yourself and keep pondering over it. Probably at some point of time in your life, you will have a vasana of it. Maybe from the past, we don't know. If you have tasted honey at some point of time in the past, probably you may know the taste. Even then, to explain it to somebody is not possible. You will alone enjoy it. How the Brahman reveals to each and every person, it is maybe very unique also. It's not the same experience also. The experience need not be the same also. That's how it is. God bless you. Thank you very much.